With the continued spread of Ebola in Africa and the recent case being found in Texas, people are understandably starting to freak out about Ebola. Now, the CDC recently had a press conference about this whole thing, and they vowed to, of course, stop Ebola in its tracks. All right, I don't know about you, but I feel a little bit better about it. But apparently this wasn't enough to convince the geniuses over at Fox News from cranking up the paranoia machine.
I know I saw your press conference yesterday. I know you say the public does not need to worry about it, but I got to tell you something. My daughter works in the building directly across the street from the hospital, and I talked to her last night. She's a little freaked out.
I understand that people are scared. It's a scary disease, but she's not a contact. Let's go back and look at the plain truth of how Ebola spreads. It only spreads from someone who's sick and only spreads from direct contact with the person or their body fluids.
Let me ask you this. You say that we've got CDC people there on the ground in West Africa screening people as they get on the airplane. How do they do that? Do they just say, do you have a fever? Do they have some sort of a wand to wave to see if they've got a fever? Or do they just ask them?
Do they have a wand to wave? Or do they just ask them? Do they have a wand? Perhaps maybe a magic wand. Oh, you're clear. Oh, you're clear. Ebola wand found you. Come on, man. You know what that actually makes me think of? The whole, wand thing or magic wand thing.
I firmly believe that, if there was a magic wand to wave, I'd be waving it, of course. I think that if there was a magic wand, I'd say, okay, drop price. I'd do that.
Drop price. Ebola. All right. Anyway, please continue, Steve.
During your press conference, you talked about how this guy's family there in the Dallas area, you're monitoring them. I know 3 of the emergency workers who drove the ambulance are being monitored. What about the people who were in the emergency room when he first came in and said, I don't feel good, and they said, take some antibiotics, go home? Those people are being monitored too, right?
We have a 9-person team in Dallas working with the hospital, with the health department, and the family to identify every possible contact.
Good.
And we'll be monitoring every one of those individuals for 21 days.
Okay.
That's the tried and true public health means of stopping an Ebola outbreak.
All right, so it seems like the CDC really has their shit together about this. Well, of course, that's not enough for the Fox audience.
One other theme we got on the email, Doctor, was this. And this is a political thing, but you're part of the administration. They feel that the administration has misled a lot of people on a lot of things. Why should we believe you when you're telling us this stuff?
Yes, why should we believe a member of the government? You're a member of the administration. How can we trust you when we've had the IRS scandal, Fast and Furious, and of course, Benghazi? I think the reason the audience feels like they can't trust anybody from the administration is maybe because 24 hours a day, you're pushing the narrative of the government lies about everything. Obama lies about everything. And hey, look, let's be fair. The administration has lied. The administration does lie. But it's not about everything. Now, they've been caught in a couple of pretty big doozies, like, I don't know, the recent Khorasan group that actually doesn't exist? Or how about the NSA not wittingly spying in on your email and collecting all of your private information in the infamous testimony by James Clapper? Real scandals. But this wouldn't be one of those. This isn't the case of the CDC lying to people about Ebola. That's crazy. And look, there is a difference between healthy skepticism, especially based on some of those previous events that I had mentioned, and just being paranoid about everything the government and the administration is doing. That kind of paranoia isn't exactly healthy. People need to understand that not everything is a lie or a conspiracy. Yes, conspiracies exist. Yes, the government does lie about things, but not everything is a lie or a conspiracy. Sometimes when the government says, hey, we got this, don't worry about it, like, we can handle this one, they're not actually lying to you. And on this Ebola thing in America, there's literally no reason for many of you to be concerned about getting Ebola. We're taking the right steps, and we're doing the right things. The only reason that you should be concerned about getting Ebola, contracting Ebola, is if you have been in close contact with someone who has been confirmed to have Ebola. And if you are one of those people, you might want to get your ass to the hospital right away.